Namaste and welcome to the 58th episode of TeaTalk. This is your Sathi Silu. Today I'm taking all of you to a virtual tour to a paradise. It is situated in Devnagar, as the name suggests, in Bharatpur, Chiton, Nepal. अनि त्यो एउटा यस्तो ठाउँ जहाँ चाहिँ I wish to have a tea there, actual tea there in person. But today I'm bringing a guest, very special guest, whom I would like to introduce as a visionary, a dreamer, and a creative entrepreneur who has taken the business to the very next level and sharing prosperity, peace, and productivity. Yes, the person today, my guest today, he graduated with his international degree abroad, but using all the education, all the knowledge in his home or the actual home. And यो प्लेटफर्ममा चाहिँ हामी फ्यामिली र करियरको सँगसँगै कुरा गर्ने हुँदा I must take the name of his father, who has been a prominent scientist, agricultural scientist of Nepal. तर छोराको रूपमा आजको मेरो guest, say Mr. Devin Lohani, he is someone who brings people of all generations together and allows them to visit his home, Haveli, after family residence. Like he created a swarga out of it, a paradise out of it, with his, again, vision, creativity, art, talent, and whatnot. अनि यस्तो एउटा हबको सिर्जना गर्नुभएको छ कि जसमा त्यसमा स्वाद छ, त्यही नै उमारिएको नेचुरल फुडको, सङ्गीत छ, म्युजिक, आर्ट छ, अनि जोय भइहाल्यो, फिटनेस हुन्छ नि, के कुरा मात्र छैन। र स्वर्ग भनेकै त्यही हो जसमा चाहिँ माइन्ड, हार्ट, बडी सबै कुरा चाहिँ रमाउँछ, खुसी हुन्छ, आनन्द पाउँछ। सो without wasting much time, let me welcome a very, very special guest today who has inspired all generations in multiple ways. He is none other than Devin Lohani of Devnagar, of Haveli, and of Lake 20,000 Farm and Retreat. It's an honor and joy to welcome you today. Namaste and welcome to Tea Talk, and good morning from Texas.
Good morning, and good evening from Chitwan, Nepal.
First of all, thank you so much for your time joining this Tea Talk, Dada. अनि यस्तो ठाउँमा होइसिन्छ हजुर, मैले पहिला थोरै introduction दिँदा चाहिँ I have introduced you as a dreamer, a visionary.
Okay.
And that is a place म आफै पनि मेरो साथी त्यहाँ बसेर कुनै दिन खान मन छ in person. So tell us about Lake 20,000 Farm and Retreat.
Good. We'll be waiting for you.
अनि आज जस्तो virtual tour गर्न मन छ मसँगै मेरो audienceहरु सबैलाई पनि. So tell us about, yeah.
So the sound you're hearing in the background is Sial, fox.
Really? Okay. Wow.
So thank you for the opportunity. I think we should extend our heartfelt condolence to what has happened in Texas today. We were shocked by what happened, and our heart and prayers go out to all the families and the people who are grieving. And so we just want to get that out to you first.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Yes, it's indeed a very sad and tragic moment for so many families, parents, and whatnot. अनि कस्तो अघि हजुरले भन्से जस्तै त्यता चाहिँ ब्याकग्राउन्डमा स्याल कराएको पनि सुनिरहेछ र I can see the beautiful background there. बाहिर होइसिन्छ हैन, त्यो त्यस्तो a small paradise भने मैले त्यो paradise एकचोटी घुमाइदिन्छु, कस्तो छ, के छ, what it is.
यो paradise मैले त क्यामेराले हल्का यस्तो, if I show you.
Sure.
See.
Beautiful.
It's a large area. This is one corner area.
Hazur.
these are some huts and so on. So it's a
uh,
large area to, not very large, but about 25, 30 acres plot this is. And we have a swimming pool here, a garden very close to the jungle, uh, very close to Chitto National Forest,
हजुर
and about 15, 20 minutes drive from Bharatpur, where
हजुर
we have an airport that connects to Kathmandu, 15 minutes drive.
हजुर
So it's good for families and friends, conferences, meetings, those kind of things, both for international and domestic tourists.
sure
So Nepalese families, they like to get together here, family reunions and those kind of things. Guests from out of the country, they come here for jungle activities, village tours, agro. So this is agricultural area. This is
हजुर
basically the breadbasket of Nepal here. So, and we are trying to accelerate this operation. I was born here inside this compound. That should be interesting for you. So that's one of the reasons I'm here.
वाउ यो प्लेटफर्ममा चाहिँ फ्यामिली र करियरको सँगसँगै कुरा गर्ने गरेको छ होइन अनि त्यसो गर्दा चाहिँ यु मेन्सन द्याट युआर बोर्न देयर अनि आफ्नो हामी पर जो पर बसेको छौँ देश विदेशमा बसिरहेको छौँ हामी सबैको लागि त नेपाल नै घर हो भनेदेखि यु आर एक्चुअली लिभिङ इन योर ओन होम वेयर युआर बोर्न not only that you are a graduate from like you have that international degree but you utilized your knowledge, your experience, your passion into building a home, not only for yourself, you are living there, but for all of us. बाहिर भएकोलाई पनि एउटा घरको भनेर एउटा जुन फिल हुन्छ नि नेपाल मात्र होइन कि एक्चुअल घरको भनेर त्यो फिल त्यस्तो गर्नुभएको भने हाउ डिड द आइडिया अकर्ड how you became how you're inspired to change your home into a paradise so that other people can visit too.
Obviously, अलिकति maybe I go in the background a little bit. म युएसमै पढेको हो. I studied in the States. मैले undergraduate Alabama A&M University Huntsvilleमा पढेँ.
हजुर.
That's where I did my undergraduate. अनि त्यसपछि I studied in New Jersey. मेरो MBA, International Business MBA गर्ने.
हजुर.
This is my US my Boston period. I stayed in the US for about 14, 15 years.
Right.
And in 98, my US studied in 98.
98 Mazur.
I went to Europe, my Germany, my Boston in Los Angeles. I was working there. I was working in New Jersey. I was working in Kingston in consulting business, and then from there, I moved to Germany, automotive industry, a Continental, the Mitsulu company, which is the owner of General Tires. In US, General Tires, which is the owner is German. You know, it's owned by a company called Continental. So I worked for that company for many years, 15 years in Europe and in Africa. Tanzania, Tanzania, jungle, safari, Serengeti, Mount Kilimanjaro, Zanzibar, Greater paradise for jungle safari. So from there is when I realized that maybe since my home, my town, village is also near a jungle, we are just 500, 600 meters away from the jungle. And that's where the Chitto National Forest is. So there is where I started getting some thoughts about maybe our own place can also be reorganized for jungle-based tourism. So the idea happened there, and my father, Dr. Shiro Lohani, he's actually the main man who put most of the stress in this project in terms of vegetation, landscape, planting, farm development, so on. So I basically just took that forward. So from Africa, I came to India to work for some years. And after that, it had been a long time, about 30 years out of the country. So I wanted to take a break for about a year, but then 1 year turned into about 10 years now.
Yeah, that's really, really inspiring for many people. I mean,
Yeah,
who, like even like us, I mean, we get our education here, but not many of the people, I mean, including me now, I mean, talking about here. So हामीले यहाँ पढिरहेको कुरालाई सिकेको कुरालाई जानेको कुरालाई चाहिँ लगेर आफ्नो देशलाई देश त छँदैछ त्यसलाई स्वर्ग बनाउनेमा गरिरहनु भएको छ र यु हेभ क्रिएटेड अ प्याराडाइज इन्डिड सो that's a big inspiration. And again, family ko kura auncha. You mentioned about your father who was a prominent scientist, right? Agriculture scientist in the area.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how?
he's still around. He's 84 years old and still going strong.
Right, great. So, कसरी चाहिँ हजुरको, I want to meet you. I want to meet Devudada from like in his childhood, in your childhood. So, how did you आफ्नो career choose गर्दा, making some of the choices in your life, होइन? Did you ever think that you would be doing this अथवा working in your own business अथवा चाहिँ what you wanted to be when you were a kid?
त्यस्तो त what I want to be भन्ने सुरुको चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो भने म त ट्राभलमा बस्थेँ. We live in travel. Rupendra can tell you about where I used to stay there. So त्यो चाहिँ directly it was over. You could see the airport from there. And
Right.
In those days, organization was not there. Travel was just like it one now, in those
Right.
days. So there was a clear view from the house to the airport. And I used to see a lot of flights going in and out. And I used to kind of wonder what's happening in the plane, as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I was below 15 years at that time. So I think my wish to be inside a plane somehow came true. So then I had an opportunity to study sixth grade in Philippines, and sixth grade of grade. So that was my introduction to flying at that time. And
Right.
somehow just exploring, going out was in the system, which later on turned into going to study in US.
Right.
So that journey, studying abroad, and then my type of work I was doing was always looking for new type of challenges. So therefore, I didn't get stuck, or rather not stuck, but I didn't just stay in US. So when I got the opportunity to leave US for work,
Right.
then I left. I went to Germany, and when I got the opportunity to work in Africa, I took it. So basically, whenever I got the opportunity to work in a different place, I took that opportunity. So that kind of got me going in different places. So moving from one place to another was not that big deal at that time.
Right.
So what I see a lot of my friends who are still in US since then, I guess their journey, they hesitated to change, uh, fear of unknown.
Right.
So
Right.
they had a nice life and nice job, nice car, nice family, everything nice, nice school, everything nice. So they didn't want to rock that boat, so they didn't change. And so now they are there for many, many years. And now for them, the transition from US back to Nepal is a bit more difficult than it was for me. For me, it was not a big transition because I was always moving around from one state to another. So the opportunity came when I came to India, like from Africa, I came to India. So I was very happy to come to India. And from India, when I came to Nepal, I was very happy to come to Nepal.
Right.
And when in Nepal, I initially it was just for a break. I was actually supposed to go to Ecuador at that time.
Right.
But then since I took the break, I just decided to stay a little bit longer and then sit on our own property. Our own farm was right there. So I decided that I'll just join forces with what's going on there and embark on the journey to make it a paradise, but not only a paradise, but also a socially responsive
Exactly.
place where the villagers and the local people here, they also benefit from my experience. So I'm actually actually trying to transfer my experience to my gown so
Yeah.
that uh, the people don't have to get excited with small things. They don't have to go all the way to Kathmandu to see a swimming pool. They can see it right here. So things that I used to get surprised and excited at you know older ages, the people nowadays with the digital and so on, we are quite connected here. So that's how it started.
Yeah. Thank you so much sharing about that. You like presented beautifully from a child who was like overseeing the planes, right? The travel. You be like the who you are, like making travel all around the world, learning, acquiring so many
Yeah,
knowledges, and after all, being home, utilizing all those skills, knowledge, and aspirations, and also creating opportunities for many people, villagers, friends, colleagues, you name it, right? So you have
yeah,
become
yeah,
that entrepreneur who is not like benefiting from like sharing the knowledge भनौँ न त्यो आधारमा अरूलाई सिकाएर मात्र आफूले सिकिरहनु भएको छैन कि but you have created a platform where there I can see एउटा कम्बिनेसन फिटनेसको छ त्यसमा माइन्डको पिसको कुरा छ हेल्थको छ अर्ग्यानिक फुडको छ त्यो रिक्रिएसन छ भनेपछि सबै कुराको एउटा कम्बो जस्तो क्रिएसन भएको छ नि त्यसको पछाडि अघि अलिकति कुरा गर्दा यु हेभ टक्ड अबाउट यर फादर अनि जहिले पनि त्यो फ्यामिली रोल त जहिले भइहाल्छ tell us a little bit about your
yeah.
Jeevan Sathi because without the like support of your life को रथ अगाडि बढ्नलाई चाहिँ दुईटा पाग्रा हुन्छ नि साथी and Jeevan Sathi you work together right so त्यसरी चाहिँ how it
मेरो
feels
जीवन
to
साथी त यो सहर बेसी इज डायनामाइट होइन सो
right
सी इज फुल अफ एनर्जी एन्ड
right.
सो
Yeah, so it's
एन्ड वी
beautiful
हेभ
to work in home together with your Jeevan Sathi आफ्नो घरमा घरलाई स्वर्ग
या सो
बनाउने
वी
एकदम
सो बेसिकली इट्स गुड या
yeah,
आफ्नै घर पुरानो घर यो पनि फेरि यो घर पनि फेरि धेरै पुरानो चितवनको सुरुवातसित इन्भल्भ घर हो यो किनकि
हजुर
चितवन अल्सो had its own history. Chiton is not a very old place. Chiton as an urban center is a relatively new place.
yeah,
60
okay
years, 65 years ago, it was just a jungle. You know?
right right
And so my family came to Chiton at the time when Chiton was a jungle and there was a effort to urbanize Chiton where a lot of people from the hills, particularly from the hills, but also from other places. So people from Longboom, Gorkha, Gulmi, all those people, they were coming to Chiton and ironically, it was in coordination with Peace Corps. The U.S. has a very strong role in the development of Chiton. I don't know if you
right
know that,
right
but it is an interesting thing. It starts from the time Nepal joined the United Nations,
oh, okay
and
yeah
some of the votes that Nepal have done uh, in the United Nations, which were supported at that time, perceived
right
to be supported at that time to U.S. Uh, objectives, for example, recognition of Israel, for example.
sure
In those kind of things, Nepal voted in that track, and as a gesture, I guess, U.S. also came forward with original Peace Corps team. So the Peace Corps in those days were quite high, uh, high profile. Like the Kennedy family members were part of the Peace Corps at those days,
right
and
right yeah
those were the people who decided to support King Mahendra at that time.
uh-huh
And one of the prototype projects was Chitwan. So therefore, Chitwan's landscape, Chitwan's urban road system, Chitwan's overall growth ratio, agro potentials are good. And that's why Chitwan is rapidly becoming undoubtedly the most vibrant cities in the South right
sure
now. And it's growing.
right
So with that growth, my kind of background, my kind of knowledge sharing was people were receptive to it because मेरो आफ्नै करियरमा पनि one of the things I learned quite early on in my professional career through my bosses was that they were saying that I don't care what you know, I care what you share.
Right, right. What you share,
that
exactly.
was the that was the that is the approach. We meet a lot of different people with different kind of backgrounds, but
Right,
just them knowing is not relevant. If they are
right.
sharing that knowledge,
Exactly.
if
That's
there is a knowledge
powerful.
transfer going on, and that is how societies evolve faster. I mean, if my village and the people around me here, if they learn from me, then they don't have to do it themselves. The same journey. What took me 20 years can only take 1 year for them because they are learning. So sharing the knowledge is
For sure.
better than just knowing it, having it.
Definitely.
So
And
that is the
that is
principle
very
of
powerful, the way you presented that. I'm very sure. किनभने आफूले त आफूलाई जसले पनि बनाइरहेको हुन्छ तर आफूले एउटा अपर्च्युनिटी क्रिएट गरेर त्यसको पार्ट सबैलाई बनाउनु सबैलाई बाँड्नु चाहे त्यो शिक्षा होस् चाहे त्यो आफूले जानेको कुरा होस् अथवा चाहिँ अपर्च्युनिटी द्याट्स अ बिग थिङ इन इट सेल्फ होइन द्याट इज वाट मेक्स यु a dreamer, not only dreamer, but a visionary who has like transformed your passion into a like paradise, I would say. And यति भन्दै गर्दा da, tell me about the what would be your message to the young generation, like who wanted to like, okay, I want to do this and that, right? तर त्यो एउटा गर्नेलाई घरमा नै छ वरिपरि नै छ अथवा गर्न सक्नेलाई भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ त्यो एन्टरप्रेन्योरियल रोलबाट एज अ लिडर एज अ इन्सपिरेसन वाट डु यु वान्ट टु गिभ द मेसेज टु यङ जेनेरेसन टुडे
young generation, the young generation are quite dynamic. They have access to information. The whole Brahmanda is in their mobile phone.
I love that. So, yeah, the whole Brahmanda in iPhone. Yes. Yeah.
So people are, in our times when we used to search for Brahmanda going from one place to another, but now the kids have the whole universe in their hands. So therefore, one does not necessarily need to be in New York to experience New York.
Right.
Or similarly, one doesn't necessarily be in a convent school to learn English. I learned English in third grade. ABCD was introduced in third grade. Right. Yes, so basically, of course, traveling and first-hand experience really does open up people's minds. So I would really definitely recommend young people to travel whenever they get a chance, because that opens up the eyes. But after that, if they really want to sincerely pursue whatever, whether it is coming up with a IT program or whether it is coming up with a boutique hotel or whatever,
right.
you name it, they can actually do it where they are. So it's youth like our kid, they are the future and full of potential. So as a year today, the Kathmandu elected a 31-year-old to be the mayor of Kathmandu today. Right? So youth are doing things. And I connect quite well to the youth. They respond to me well. And I guess the ideal thing would be sharing the youth their energy. So I get energy from them, vibrations of energy from them.
Sure.
And if they pick up some one or two wisdom from me, and that helps them navigate their journey, I guess that would be good.
Yeah. And thank you for doing that, because you are playing a role as a mentor as well, right? Inspiring many people. अनि त्यतिमा भन्दा त्यहाँमा चाहिँ share us about like couple activities or things that kind of that adds like I don't know motivation in your day. हजुर त्यही गरिरहँदा पनि some of the special experience that you I mean that you have meeting many people अथवा चाहिँ मैले एउटा कुरा नोटिस गरेको चाहिँ संगीतको क्षेत्रमा पनि हैन जब चाहिँ त्यो आनन्द हुन्छ सङ्गीत जहिले पनि त्यहाँ हुन्छ स्वाद छ सङ्गीत छ आनन्द छ सबैको एउटा भन्दा टेल अस अबाउट द्याट सबभन्दा रमाइलो लागेको कुरा आफूले गरेको कुरामा सन्तुष्टि भन्छ नि कुनै एक्सपिरियन्स धेरै छ होला तर
धेरै छ मेन चाहिँ अब मेन चाहिँ हो अब at the end of the day you know underlying point of maybe I'll backtrack a little bit. I stayed in New York and New Jersey for 8 9 years.
Right.
And at that time, I always appreciated Central Park, in the middle of New York City in Manhattan. So quiet places and park-like places have its value. Of course, अलिकति deeper heartland US तिर जाँदाखेरि अलिकति greeneries open spacesहरू धेरै छ तर अर्बन सेन्टर्सहरूमा ओपन स्पेसेसहरू कम छ नेपालमा पनि अब धेरै मान्छेहरू अब 30-40 लाख people are working abroad outside of Nepal हैन सबैको ड्रिम चाहिँ नै हो स्ट्रगल गर्ने सानो एउटा घर बनाउने nicely ticket friends and small family have a puppy and those kind of things त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अब एउटा फिनोमिनन चाहिँ के भइरहेछ अहिले नेपालमा चितवनमा also is people are trying to have a house. That means a lot of land is being plotted and carved out.
Yes.
And slowly urbanization is picking up, and greeneries are going down. काठमाडौँहरूमा चाहिँ अलि haphazard खालको छ चितवनमा चाहिँ अलिकति स्ट्रक्चर राम्रो पहिल्यैदेखिको चाहिँ अहिले मैले भनेको वेल प्लान लेआउटहरू भएर अलिकति रोड र त्यसको नेटवर्कहरू ठिक छ तर अर्बनाइजेसन भइरहेको हुनाले जुन 50-100 वर्षपछि भनौँ न 100 वर्षपछि this LTK will be like a central park in the city, meaning it will be everywhere highly organized, but a nice little chunk of earth will be like like you said, a little paradise type greenery. So एउटा त त्यो motivation that is in the sense that the project is not complete. I mean, my grandfather was here, my father aspects are good.
That's fine. Thank you for coming back.
Went down.
Yeah. But still you made it.
So basically I was saying, I don't know up to where you heard me earlier, but basically I was saying that Lake 20,000 Farm Retreat is a journey. It's not a destination in itself. Fine. So that is one perspective. And basically the business model is also not necessarily minting money, but a lot of intangibles around it, so that the overall value proposition is one which is geared not only on absolute profit and loss account,
right,
but also the intangibles and the other overall value, enterprise value, overall value to the village, value to the area, and referral value. A lot of people are benefiting from it, and we are quite happy about it. And recently, and I think this will be interesting for your audience, is we have also initiated a not-for-profit initiative around art and sports.
Okay.
As you had mentioned, that art, both performing and non-performing art,
right,
from dance and poetry to painting and those kind of things, and also cultural aspects, like we do rice planting festivities here. We are planning for a harvesting festivities here.
Wow.
Similar to, so that we create out of the 365 days, eventually we want to have, every day has a significance, and we want to have LTK geared for that. And one of the learning we had with the COVID experience was that tourism and our kind of hospitality industry also needs organic client base, expecting somebody to come from London and basing your whole business model just on that has its disadvantages, which was clearly visible during the COVID.
Sure, yeah.
So from that point of view, even though my strengths are in the international scene, in the initial phase of these activities, we have intentionally chosen to focus on the client base within Nepal who are also interested to visit. I have only been to about uh, 12 or 13 different districts in Nepal. There are 77 of them, and some people have gone to all. Some people have not gone to more
Right.
than two. So there's a lot to see within here also.
Wow. Yeah.
So with all that in mind, we have created one art and sports uh, academy where we are hoping to scout um, and then identify and to improve their level of quality either in their chosen areas of art or in their chosen areas of sports. And that would be one of the areas where your audience can be part of. Even though many of you are outside in this case, I guess most of you who is listening to me are in the U.S.
Yeah.
So even though you are there in your uh, rat race, but if you wanted to have a presence in our kind of activities,
Yeah.
so we have decided to initiate a academy where we're going to do sports, um, athletics, swimming, football, basketball, all kinds of badminton, all kinds of sports where we are going to have clear measures of what is the overall quality because Nepal is ranked in almost at the bottom of all the sports. So if we want to increase the ranking, we have to start early and we have to measure them properly and at least break the records that exist now and then slowly improve it. So that is one of the goals we have. We have created a foundation around it,
That's
and very
inspiring
soon we are
indeed.
going to develop an annual calendar around it,
Okay.
and we are going to create life members and basically create a economic model where it supports itself. So that is where I am nowadays slowly branching out and making this place like a hub for families. So those people who are coming from overseas, they can move with three, four, five, six families and come here, stay here a few days, be here as a family reunion,
Right.
planting trees. Lately, there have been like 6 or 7 marriages here of
Um,
couples who are living in US. And whenever they get married here, we plant a tree together, and they are interested about how their tree is doing. And we send them photographs, and they worry about their plants and so on. So basically, giving a platform where those who are away and want to feel connected, they can think of this place as your own and see what you want to do. And then if there is anything that any one of your audience wants to get engaged with, I welcome them. And I think it's good. It's satisfying as well as it gets connected, because I realize my own brother is also in Minnesota for last 30 years,
right.
and if I hadn't moved from there to Germany, I would probably still be there. And as time goes on, it's difficult to move,
Right.
and but one wants to stay connected, and especially for children who are born in US nowadays or Nepalese families or
True.
those who went there early and now they're getting older and adults. If
Yeah.
they want to get engaged in some meaningful way,
Right.
this new initiative we are doing is also quite interesting. I will send you some information you can look at.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And even in this platform, I will share about the website and whatnot so that interested people from here and abroad, everywhere, they can visit the place. And again, for family and like work, career, both are there to find
Yeah,
whatever they need to see, right? And whether
yeah,
it is fitness, sports, as you said, like music,
yeah.
food. So
Yeah.
that's really powerful. So we are almost at the end of the program as well. So give us a glimpse of your day. I mean, everyone goes to work 9 to 5 and whatnot, but you are in home and elevating it, right? Enhancing it and taking it to the next level. So I would like to take a glimpse of your day. How does it look like from morning to like
Yeah,
evening?
I wake up around 6:30, and basically it starts with a cup of tea, so tea talk in the morning. But in the mornings, so I'm just talking to myself at 6 with my cup of tea, and basically starts with checking my mails, messages. It's that. So after that, a brief walking around, I come out and so on. And then, but it starts with me taking my boy to school at
Okay.
around 8:30. I take him about 15 minutes away. I drop him in school. Both of my kids are studying here. One is in the 10th grade. The other one is in first grade.
Okay.
So I drop him to school, and when I come back, just figuring out planning the day. If there are guests, normally there is always some guests here,
Sure.
and when we have special events, there's a lot of guests here. We do programs here for 3, 4, 5,000 people here sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
But normally, our resort, about 100 people can stay here. So now after COVID, and also recently Nepal has made it a 2-day weekend. So there's always 10, 15, 20 people here. So some interesting people. I interact with them, talk about the finances and complaints and this and that, or next steps. People going to safari, jungle activities, coming back, etc.
Right.
Uh, and then evenings, generally I'm with I have my own living also inside the compound,
Right.
so I'm with the family. But if there are guests that either are coming directly through me who wants to spend time with me, then I'm out here in this area. Otherwise, I'm in my own family kind of a setup. So like any other place, I'm with my family. It's just work-life balancing act. It's also happening here.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
but it's nice. And then once in a while, and now recently, because of the local elections in Nepal, as you are following, we have just completed the local election. Some
Mm.
new rhythm is come into the
Yes.
mix. Young people have come forward, like the youth that we were talking about. So
Right.
it's exciting time. So, and with the new projects that we are trying to do, these foundations and so on. So I keep myself busy.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
then so I spend about 2, 3 weeks a month here, and about 1, 1.5 weeks in Tabel, because my parents, my father and mother, they are in Tabel. And
Right.
so I go there and come back regularly.
See, you are balancing three generation and inspiring like every generation out there. So
Yeah,
I highly applaud to like what you have been doing and inspiring all of us. I mean, in our home country and abroad as well. So thank you for doing that. So in
thank you, Shiru.
final, is there anything that I forgot to ask and you want to share or any final note today?
No, I think because my journey has been such that maybe we can do a part two some other day, and based on some of this discussion, if there has been a point or two that you would like to delve more, or maybe based on your listeners' feedback, if there is a thing or two, either through my professional journey, because I did not talk about my professional side of jobs and what I did in Germany or what I did in Africa and so on.
Right, right.
So we can talk about those. But
Definitely.
no, you captured it well. Thank you for the opportunity. Just please extend my hello to Rupendra and to Anima. Tell them I love them very much. And
Yeah.
also to anybody else who is watching me, hello. And if in Chitwan or if in Nepal, please consider a visit to Lake 20,000 Farm, and do consider to get involved in the project that I just described on the art and sports aspect.
Yes, that will be my honor, and I'm humbled that you remember all the names and the people here. I mean, when you're here, but again, I mean, being there also, you are touching lives of many people, and thank you for inspiring that way.
Yeah. So
So
be well, and once again, our condolence to what has happened in Texas. We are saddened by it, and hello to everybody out there, and all the best.
Yes, Salah. Have a good night there.
Okay,
Bye.
okay, Shilu. Bye bye.
Bye.